Today we're going to start our new notes. So we've got a new sheet of paper. It's easier if you take these in a composition book, guys, so you can just flip it over the next page and there you go. You got it all there together. You don't have to worry about where you put it the night before and where you're going to find it. It's all right there together. So as we said, we're going to start on page 55 and go over to page 56 to finish these notes. So this will take us today and tomorrow. Today, we're going to be talking about the Great Compromise, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about the other compromises. What do all three of those things have in common? They are compromises. So look what we're going to do. We're going to go over here in our notes, and at the very tip top, we're going to write compromises, C-O-M-P, compromise. It's actually compromises if I'm breaking it down into syllables. And look what we're going to do. We're going to go out, and I'll zoom in just a minute, and down. We're going to go out and down, and then we're going to go straight down. Give yourself plenty of room on that. So now that you see what it's going to look like, I'm going to zoom in. And today we're going to start over here on the left at the top. And remember, pause. You've got a pause button. That's so that you can pause if you need to, if you need more time. And we're going to make a title, The Great Comp. And because we've just written compromises, and look, I'm even going to go up there and box that in to show that's what the overall chart is about. The Great Comp, and it's the Great Compromise. Now, this doesn't mean like, great, this is awesome. No, it's like a great big compromise, okay? So, page 55. Ooh, I don't have my social studies book pulled up. There we go. Now, I'm going to zoom down here to the bottom, and let's talk about this first. Move myself back over. Okay, so Roger Sherman. And it's always important to know who did it, because we know that James Madison did the Virginia Plan and William Patterson did the New Jersey Plan. So let's go ahead and write him down. His name is Roger Sherman, and he was from Connecticut. Roger Sherman was responsible. Make sure you capitalize both his first name and his last name, because that's what a proper noun does. I'll capitalize his name. It's important. He presented a compromise. A compromise is a way of reaching an agreement in which each side gives up something it wants. So if your mom said, you say, can I go to the mall and buy a new game? And she says, you can go to the mall and buy a new game if you clean your room. So you clean your room, she gets you the game. That's a compromise. You both give a little bit of something. She gives a little bit of money, you give a little bit of your time. You both get something out of it, okay? She gets a clean room, you get your game. That's a compromise. Sherman proposed a bicameral Congress. Okay, there's that word again, two. The lower house will be called the House of Representatives, and the upper house will be called the Senate. And guess what? We still have that today. Okay, so the House of Representatives and the Senate. But let's finish reading. In the House of Representatives, the population of the states would determine the number of representatives. That means that larger states would have more representatives than smaller states. So that's only in the House of Representatives. If you have a big state, you got big numbers, big votes. If you got a little state, you don't get as many votes because you don't have as many people. But look at this. There's the compromise. In the Senate, see, there's two parts, two sections, the upper house and the lower house. In the Senate, each state would have 2 senators. Didn't matter what size you were, every state would be equally represented in the Senate. Okay? So there's 2. This is, if you're a bigger state, you get bigger power. This one, everybody's treated equal. The delegates agreed to Sherman's plan, which became known as the Great Compromise. It's not just a great idea, but it was a big idea. So that makes everybody happy. And guess what? The House of Representatives and the Senate, they can veto each other out. They can cancel each other out. They both have to agree for something to happen. Okay, so that's what makes it fair. Everybody got a little bit of what they wanted. So let's look at our notes. I told you they were going to be quick today. In the Great Compromise, let's do this. Let's go over this way and go House of Reps. And that means House of Representatives. Large states equal more reps. Representatives are the people that go there to make the decisions. Oh, can't see it, can you? The House of Representatives will be where large states get more representatives. And then look what I'm going to do. I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to write Senate. And if you need to, look what you can do. Just draw a line in between it to separate it. Take a pen. Do you know what we could even do? You know how I love a box. I'm going to box that in. I'm going to box that in. And draw that line. Now you can see that it's part of the Great Compromise, but it's two sections. And in the Senate, all states have equal, you can just put this equal sign there, reps. And that was 2 per state. Every state got 2 reps. Per is a word that means each, like in your, and I did it to you again, in your math, you'll say how many per group when you're talking about division. There we go. Now you can see it all. That's all that you're going to copy down, but I'm going to still talk to you about this diagram right here, because sometimes a visual, seeing it with my eyes, makes it more clear for me. Okay, so the Virginia plan, bicameral. Okay, 2 parts. Bi means 2. The representation was only based on population. Big states, big votes. New Jersey, UNA, 1 section, 1 branch. Remember, bicameral had 3 branches. Unicameral, 1 branch. And every state got that same treated, same vote, same amount of power. Okay, they didn't like, these people, Virginia, didn't like New Jersey's plan. New Jersey's people didn't like Virginia's plan, so they came up with the Great Compromise, which meant that they were going to have the bicameral legislature, it's hard for me to say, but one was going to be called the House of Reps, and one's going to be called the Senate. House of Representatives, bigger states, bigger votes. And look, see, that's what I like. This is representation right here. This has 10 original Virginia representatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whereas New Jersey only had 4 representatives because they didn't have as many people that lived there. So in the House, they got more votes. Still like that today. Still like that here in the United States. Still like that here in Tennessee. The Senate, it didn't matter which state was bigger. Virginia got 2 and New Jersey got 2. And all the other ones got 2 as well. So it was totally equal. Now, we're done with today's notes, but don't lose them because we're going to take notes tomorrow and have a test after we do it. Okay? Test Friday.